Girl, look around you. There was no team. It was you. There was no weight loss program or mom and dad waking you up saying you can do it, you can be better, trying to build belief. You built belief when you had nothing. Rock bottom. I worked myself so hard that I turned a person this fucked up into this motherfucker right here. Not off of reading a book off a theorist, off of going to work on myself and saying, I don't know how to do this, but I know that to get over there to that side, I gotta grind myself into a fine powder. And I did it. I did it off of sure will. And very few people will know how that feels. Very few. I'm kind of a crazy guy. I overtrain for everything I do. I'm not a triathlete by any means. I just train. So my weekly mileage on the run is about 120, 125. And I bike about 200 to 250 miles a week. And I swim anywhere from 8 to 10 miles a week. So I'm a big ultra runner is what I am. And everything else is kind of cross training. I'm in search for a feeling. I'm not in search for a trophy. I'm not in search for love. I'm not in search for more followers on Instagram or social media. When I started this journey years ago, and I realized that I'm going to be somebody, and I'm searching for a feeling of true victory for myself, and only myself. The second I shut out the whole world and realized that one thing, that I am in this world alone. I'm fighting in this race by myself. Yeah, I'm all about people. I'm all about team. I'm all about that shit. But I'm really all about right now and in my life, just like you said, no one knows the real truth about me, how hard I really go. I don't care if anybody knows. I don't want anybody to know. I'm an introvert. I live an introverted life. And I love that about me. That right there is my fuel, is I know that there's really no one out there grinding like me. And if they are, so be it. If I know about you, I'll make sure that I up my game. That's what the mentality is all about. My whole thing is a mentality thing. I figured this out. Most of us are only 1 to 10% away from greatness. But we think we're so far away from it that we never try. And once I started going down this journey, I started realizing that, and those percents started to add up. And before I knew it, my mind started hardening, and I started passing so many different people that I thought were so far above me. And then before I knew it, man, I became a common amongst the uncommon.
A lot of you think I don't have a job. You always say, I see it. If I didn't have a job like you, Goggins, I would work out all day. I got a motherfucking job. I work 16-hour days in the fire line. When I'm demoted, that means coming off the fire line, I work 20-hour days. I always get it in. On the fire line, during 16-hour days, still get them in. Lunch hour break, get them in. Any break I have, get them in. The excuse is, you want to make yourself feel better because you want to think that your life is so much harder than somebody else's. It's not. You're lazy. You don't put the effort in. You don't want to work at it.
There were so many times in my life growing up, I wanted to fit in. And I wanted to be part of a group. And I didn't have any want. And I didn't have that desire. So when you're trying to fit in, when you're trying to be cool, when you're trying to be whatever the hell it is, without having that internal dog, that fight, when things get hard in life, all you do is quit. When you have that internal in you, like I've developed over a lot of years, this dog, it starts to get built up in you, this fight, this warrior. And when things get difficult, you may not make it, but you come back. You start to build a different voice in your head. That internal conversation, that internal strength, that internal dog, it starts to develop an internal voice. And while my voice in my mind for the first 24 years of my life was very weak, when I started to really build my insides, like my guts getting hard and everything about me getting harder, it developed a different voice. That voice of nurturing, like, oh, David, you came from an abused family. You came from this, you came from that. It's okay.
this dog started coming up where it's not okay. I wanted to be one of the 1%ers, not the 99%. I realized I had one life to live, and I have to live it. There's not two lives, there's one life. And all these things started happening to me. And then once that started happening, man, everything flipped. But that internal, it starts to build a voice in you that doesn't allow you to sleep in, doesn't allow you to take days off when you know that you're behind. It just keeps you in check throughout everything you're doing in life, because it's not going to allow you to fail. But if you don't work on the inside of you, you will always have that nurturing voice that guides you where it's okay. It's always okay. And if I would have had that, it would have been okay to stay 300 pounds doing what I was doing. So that internal is everything.
I view myself as the weakest person on the planet Earth. My goal in life was to, in my mind, believe I'm the hardest man alive. And that's why the whole thing is can't hurt me. That's what it's about. It's about whatever you think you are, you have to make that dream a reality. But that's where the hard part is making that dream reality. That's where the hard work comes. That's where people know, how do you keep grinding every day? You have to make those insecurities, those fears. Like when I was 300 pounds, I didn't have any drive. I'm gonna go be a Navy SEAL. What kind of stupid shit is that, 300 pounds? There wasn't like a drive to go be a Navy SEAL. I was an insecure, lying kid, afraid. I had to look in my insecurities and in my fear and find drive in that. We're all looking for passion. Passion's all around you. You have a whole stack of it all around you. It's your insecurities, all that shit. You gotta dive deep in that shit. It's all in there. All the energy and fuel you need is right in yourself. It's all there. You got a lot of stuff to do to overcome. And that's where I found it. I found it right there in my own insecurities. I found drive in my own insecurities. And that's the most powerful thing in the world. When you can find drive in your own doubt, fear, insecurities, you become very unstoppable.
I was haunted. I've been haunted since I was a young kid. I saw a lot of things I should have seen. I've seen a lot of, I saw a lot of death. I saw my mom get beat. And when you're going through this, you start to develop a lot of fear of attacking life, fear of failure, fear of having big goals, big dreams. So I would dream really small, and all these things happen. And I was just afraid to face that, we all have what it takes, but it's just not that easy. And I knew I had what it took, but I'm really big at visualizing. And I was able to visualize what it was going to take for me to be a Navy SEAL. What it was going to take for me to lose this weight. What it was going to take for me to be somebody I was proud of to look in the mirror. And after a while, if you start to work on the inside of you, that whole inside thing, that voice, like I said, it gets louder and louder, and it becomes more and more haunting. And the more haunting it becomes, the more it doesn't allow you just to live your life. Eat those donuts, not work out, living these mediocre, working these mediocre jobs with mediocre money, living in a mediocre house, and saying you're better than this. It's gonna take a lot of damn work, a lot of hard work. And that's what happened to me over a period of time. That voice that haunted me got louder and louder and louder. Before I knew it, I couldn't sleep. And I had to start conquering all these things just to be at peace with myself.
I invented a motherfucker. Alone, out there running in cold and heat, suffering in pools, trying to swim, at home in a fucking room by myself, trying to teach myself how to read and write, how to study. No one saw that shit. There was no video camera, there was no podcast, there was no Who's David Goggins.
Right.
No
documentary.
There was no docu-fucking-memory on that shit. It was me. I built Goggins from the ground up. I was born David Goggins. David Goggins wasn't good enough. He was a scared, bullied, abused kid who struggled in life. And that kid, whenever something got tough, no matter how hard I trained, no matter how ready I was, whenever something got tough for me, David Goggins, the real David Goggins, would come out and he would quit. Life's about improvise, adapt, and overcome in every situation that's in front of you. A lot of people hate that message that I say continue pushing, continue finding your new 100%, continue finding your best self. If you don't like that message,
this is not the place to be. I'm about people trying to find the best they have, not making excuses, overcoming any and all obstacles. So today, I can't run. I can't do much. But you can guarantee one fucking thing. David Goggins got the fuck after it. He got the fuck after it. I don't give a fuck my knees don't work. I'll find something else that does. Ha ha! Stay hard. Trying to find your why is another way of procrastinating, taking fucking action. So, the question does not end with why. It starts with why. Why the fuck don't you want to be in better shape? Why the fuck don't you want to be a better fucking student? Why don't you want to be more successful? So this is something I can say, and your counselor can't because he might get fired. Maybe you can't find your why because you're lazy. Maybe you can't find your why because you have zero fucking ambition. Regardless, you need to go out here and find it. Mediocrity feels so fucking good. So we love surrounding ourselves with mediocre people. They give us a get out of jail free card. Whenever life gets hard for us, they tell us it's okay. Don't fucking worry about it. We don't want to surround ourselves with those people out there who are getting the fuck after it every day, holding us accountable, making us feel uncomfortable. People who are challenging us at every turn of life. Those people scare us. That's exactly where you need to fucking be in your life, with those people who put you in a world of questioning who you are. That's exactly where you want to go. That's exactly where you grow. The mind's a medieval motherfucker. It's constantly fighting against you. It's the only thing in the history of the fucking world that shows up on time, every time. It has the tactical advantage over you. It knows your fears. It knows your insecurities. It knows everything about you. It might be the only thing in that world that knows all about you. You gotta know about it. It's gonna show up when you don't want to show up. It's gonna show up at the worst time possible when you want to be successful. It's gonna say, take the easy road. Take the easy way out. You gotta learn your brain like your brain has learned you. You gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen. It's a beautiful world because that's where you find yourself. My mind started to break down. I started feeling my legs starting to hurt. I started feeling dehydrated. Started feeling sorry for myself. Started looking around. No one knows I'm fucking out here running. Why don't you go ahead and just stop? Call your girl, have her pick you up. And that's when I feel like a little bitch. And this is when your mind has to fucking change. You gotta start thinking, I'm the grittiest motherfucker in the world. Your dehydration? Fuck it. Lick your motherfucking lips. Your fucking legs are all sore. You feel like you got shin splints and stress fractures. No, you don't. You got sore fucking legs. Get out of your head and stay hard. I realized on the toughest of days, my mind would allow the demons to come in and roost in my head and start to give me all these different fucking thoughts. So I realized if I can find a little bit more during training, I could get over these hard times. So what I would do is, after a hard day of getting my ass kicked, I would go to the gym. And I realized if I could go to the gym after these hard fucking days, it would teach my mind that there was no finish line. Well, a lot of us run away from our fears. Sure. And we box ourselves in to a lifestyle of this is all we can do. Right. 'Cause I'm afraid of everything outside this box. Yeah. So I'm comfortable inside this box. I jumped the box.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
For the first time in my life. Mentally, I jumped the box and said, hey, I got to come out here and play. Life isn't fair at all. At all. So what are you going to do about it? I knew that no one was coming back to help me. No one was going to miracle me to be somebody special. Everybody that called me nigger, my dad, my mom, all my situations were on me now. And solely on me. So I had to start developing an indestructible mental toolbox. So I sat there on that couch and I realized, man, I am a piece of shit. And even though the world helped me get here, my false reality helped me even more. A lot of us dream big,
You should dream big. Dreaming big is important. You know, some of us want to be doctors, lawyers, dentists. Some of us want to be in special operations. So you have this big dream, you can see it so clearly, like it's right in front of you. You can go out and touch it. But the thing about it is somewhere, if you dream big enough, somewhere down that journey, that dream becomes a motherfucking nightmare. And what happens in that nightmare, you start to have all these questions. Like, if you want to be in special ops, you may not be a great swimmer. You may just realize that I'm not a great swimmer, I'm not a great runner. You may start to fail tests. And all these questions start to flood your mind. Why am I here? I'm not good enough. Trust me, I know all about the fucking questions. They will flood your mind. If you do not have the answers for them, you will quit. It's funny, man. A lot of you think I have a job. You always say, I see it. If I didn't have a job like you, Goggins, I work out all day. I got a motherfucking job. I work 16-hour days in the fire line. When I'm demobbing, that means coming off the fire line, I work 20-hour days. I always get it in. On the fire line, during 16-hour days, still get them in. Lunch hour break, get them in. Any break I have, get them in. The excuse is, you want to make yourself feel better because you want to think that your life is so much harder than somebody else's. It's not. You're lazy. You don't want to put the effort in. You don't want to work at it. What have you done today besides make excuses? Stay hard.
Everyone's like, oh, later in life, I want to do this. Later in life, I want to do that. Later in life is turning around, looking in the mirror right now. That's the later in life. And unless that turnaround is something in progression, later in life ain't gonna be anything different.
No one's gonna fucking come to help me. No one's gonna fucking come to help me. It's fucking me against me, period.
Everything you want in life, you can have. But not 1 second before you stop making excuses for not having what you want.
There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem.
There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up. Because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're fucking to become something that you haven't. There comes a fucking day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average and just fucking burns and sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day, and you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out, but you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much pain and commitment. You were scared you were going to fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it until something hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you of what you could have been. And then the spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never going to be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even if it gets knocked down, you just keep going. You're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet.
I was in 3 Hell Weeks. I went to Ranger School. I tried out for Delta Selection.
Undeniable stack of proof.
That is proof, motherfucker. So whenever you think you can't, the confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence.
I promise you, whether it's 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, let's work out, never looking back. Helps to ensure we don't look to the past for our greatest hour. You gotta be moving somewhere with a vision you can get there, belief in that.
Somebody just pissed me the f*** off. I disappeared and come back to a 200 miler. I'm 199 miles into this race. Got my boy Leo pacing me. Finishing up right now. Guy's knees are bad. See how he runs. Yeah, see how I run 200 miles, motherfucker. I'm about to finish this bitch up. Hey, what were you doing for the last 65 hours? I know what I was doing. I was running all up and down the mountains. Getting it in. Doing what I preach about. Life was always giving you a test. Trying to give you a way out. Trying to give you an excuse not to show up. This is my excuse today. But guess what? You gotta have the mentality to show up every fucking day of your life. No matter what life throws at you.
Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe. Switch it up if you want a different result, man.
Who are you on those days you don't want to do things? It's easy to conquer when it's good weather. You got good sleep. Work's going good. The family's good. You feel great. Your body's not injured. Those are the easy days to conquer. But who are you on those fucking days when all hell's broke loose? Your body's fucked up. You're sore. You're depressed. You're miserable. You're not the favorite person at school. You might be getting bullied. You might be falling behind in life. Who are you on those days when shit's all f***ed up? That's the great divide. Those people who get up on those days when everything's f***ed up and still grind, that's the separator right there.
And a year from now, it's going to happen like that. And who is your future self? 1 year from now, who is it? Just like everyone's out of here, go party Saturday night. They're not willing to sacrifice. I'm like the lone survivor in here. Who are you going to be in a year from now? And in a year from now, does that future person hold regret or pride?
I hate that damn mentality, but I can't get a break. You aren't given any breaks in life. You make them for yourself. We are all being tested in life. While my test is different than yours, you will be tested. And how you face that test and how you overcome that test determines the rest of your life. The one mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but still I grind. And that one day, you see me down a dark alley, run at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing. I was grinding.
When you've tasted success at one point in your life, it wasn't about the potential, it wasn't about the genetics, it was about the perseverance, and it was about being the hardest fucking worker in the room. That's what got them there, and it didn't happen overnight. They got knocked down more than they ever stood up. But they kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going, because what else is the alternative? To be average again.
Some of you just don't understand. Some of you have been average for so damn long, you don't know what it is to do hard work. But there's a lot of you out there who want to be much more than average, but just don't know how to do it every single day, the grind. You need to find someone to oil those gears up. But there's a motherfucker out there who wants what you have, who wants the position you are, who wants the job you have, who wants the wife that you have, or the husband. There's someone out there hungry and wants everything you can have. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But if it is, it's gonna be your ass. So make that a motivation for you.
Accepted and loved and all that shit that I created about 50 people. Whatever you like, I like. Just if you would be my friend, just be my friend. And that's where we get lost in life. I was honest. Look at yourself, man. Look at yourself. And it was that day, in a couple of days after that, I just got real with myself. And every day I came home, I called the accountability mirror. What am I going to do today to change what I see in this mirror? What am I going to do today? And a lot of it was I stopped sitting with the cool guys. I actually tucked my shirt in and went to school looking like, hey, man, this is how I'm going to look. If you don't like it, so be it. I had to really wear this layer of skin. I had to develop a really callous skin on me to take whatever you're going to call me, you're going to call me. Whatever I'm going to be, you know, I want a geek, but whoever I am, you're going to see me. You're going to see me for who I am, because I need to change who I'm not. And that accountability mirror just became raw. And I became fat over the years because I fell back in the hole. I called myself fat because I was fat. And people don't want to do that. They want to say, oh, don't call yourself fat. Don't call yourself dumb. If you're not real and raw with who the fuck you are, nothing's going to change. And in this nice new world that we live in, we want to hear, you're just a little big. No, man, you might be fat,
And it's okay to hear that from yourself and from everybody else. So that's where it started at. And it's raw. It gets ugly sometimes with me in that mirror, but I'm also proud of myself to be able to tell myself that and then fix what's in that mirror.
99.9% of the shit I did to get to where I'm at today was alone. Alone. Out there running in cold and heat, suffering in pools, trying to swim, at home in a room by myself, trying to teach myself how to read and write, how to study. You know, no one saw that shit. There were no video cameras, there was no podcast, there was no Who's David Goggins.
Basically, just hard work and outworking the hand I was dealt. I was dealt a horrible hand, and I outworked it. I outworked the hell out of it, and I'm very proud of that.
Because I'm proud of what I created, but I'm more proud of I created it without an audience, without a cheering squad, without someone like you run the Boston Marathon and people love that race. They run so fast because for 26.2 miles, there's a motherfucker just, come on, man, you got it, you can do it. You know who you are when there's no motherfucker out there when you're running. And you're at mile 75 of a 150-mile race, ain't nobody cheering for you. You're broken, you're defeated. It's you and you alone in your head. And I stayed that way for the better part of 30 years. What has helped me has been me alone, getting my shit together and being accountable for who I'm not and who I want to be. It's the only thing that's helped me. You face it every day. You face it every single day of your life where you say, okay, like if you're fat, you need to lose weight. It's patience. It's patience in this fact of accepting who you are right now. I'm fat. I don't like myself. Accepting the fact that if you lose 3 or 4 pounds, that's a huge accomplishment. You have to live in your own world. You cannot judge yourself. That's why social media and all these things are horrible. You can't judge yourself off of the so-called competition that we have made up in our mind. The things that, how people look, how people act, how smart someone is. This is a race that you run completely alone. And you're all by yourself. I had tons of sticky notes all over my mirror. It wasn't like be better than John or be as fast as whoever. Okay, David, yesterday you did this. Today, our next goal for the week is this. So I had a year goal, weekly goals, daily goals, hourly goals, and the big goal was I lied a lot growing up. I wanted to be accepted. One goal was, let's go one day without lying. Let's go one day, and then when I would lie to somebody, I would say, hey man, I had to go back now and apologize, say, hey man, I lied to you. You know how hard it is to go back to somebody and say, I lied to you? Hey man, you know what? Back there, I lied to you, dude. I was really jacked up. So I figured out these ways of total accountability. Like right now, I had to run this morning before I talked to you, because why? That's what I'm about. I'm about mind, body, fitness. A lot of folks talk so much shit about, hey, I'm gonna change your life. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Are you accountable for what you're doing? Are you accountable? And I mean to the T for what you're saying. I am. And that's where it started. It started with that total accountability of, let's not lie today. Let's tell people the truth about who you are. And when you can get on and tell someone, like I'm doing right now, exactly how f***ed up you are, that's the goal in life. To put your life on a billboard, on the busiest road, in the busiest highway in the world, and say, this is how f***ed up I used to be. Take it or leave it. I taught myself everything in my whole life. I'm not a theorist, people. There's a bunch of people who are theorists who go to the library, study the mind. They study it in a book. I studied it by being a practitioner. I put my mind in hell and I realized how it was thinking. And I figured out tools and tactics on how to get through it by being in it, not by studying it, by being in it. And literally that's how I started callousing over. You know how, so I did 67,000 pull-ups in 9 months, and it calloused my hands. It calloused my hands real good to protect my hands against the bar. I started learning how to callous my mind, to callous over my victim's mentality. And that's what I did. I talk about the new norm. When I lived in a $7 a month place when I was growing up for a short period of time, I loved it. I didn't know any different. That was my norm. Once we moved out of that place, we moved to a $236 a month place. I was like, shit, I never want to go back to that little piece of shit. But
If you go back to that $7 a month place and you realize this is where I live, this is all I got, your mind says, roger that, this is home. So when I was going through Navy SEAL training for 18 months and going back through all the hard parts over and over again, I told myself after the first time, I knew it was gonna be a long journey there. My body was breaking down. It was just how it was going on. I said, you know what? This is my new norm. So my mind said, it's like going to work. Like you go to work, you put your suit and tie on. I go into suffering every day. Every day suffering, being broken, duct taping my feet up, stress fractures, shin splints, being broken. This is my new norm. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this ain't normal. We gotta be broken. So then your mind starts to get tougher and tougher and more callous. People, how did you run on broken feet? Broken shins. My mind knew this is how we operate. We're in Navy SEAL training. This is what we are. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I love God, but for a short period of time, I became the devil because that was hell. I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You immerse yourself in wherever it is, and you become that. You become that and give yourself no way out. I actually sat back when I was fat, nasty, out of shape, miserable, and created a human being in my mind that didn't even exist. And said, that's what I want to be. I want to be that guy. I want to be a guy that's capable of doing exactly what I'm doing today. And you have to, if you weren't born that guy, that mentally strong guy, he can be made. Woman, man, whatever the hell you are, it can be made. But in making that person, you have to be who the fuck you are every day of your life, and never care about anybody who gets in your way that said you're not doing something the proper way. I was always afraid of people not wanting to, like, when you get beat as bad as I did, I lied all the time. I wanted to be, you're doing enough. In life, it's never enough until you feel this overwhelming feeling of shit, man. I'm outworking the crowd. I'm outworking everybody. I'm doing more. Once you get there, that's when you know you've done enough.
When you guys find a fear, that fear will either create you or destroy you. I love fear, and the reason why, behind every fear is a person you want to be. Fear is self-imposed, meaning it doesn't exist. You create it, you can destroy it too. It's an intangible. If you face your fears, guys, you will realize it's not that big. And once you face it, you go, oh my God, man, I spent all this time running from it. It was so small. If I just faced it, my God, not only did I face it, I beat it back. Energy is never lost, transferred. That negative energy, that fear is destroyed. It comes back in as confidence. You're like, what else am I capable of? What else am I holding my back from that I'm capable of more? What am I running from I don't need to? What else can I overcome? Friday night, guys. 1 in the morning on the streets of Burbank here outside Miami Fitness. Another moment of life. Our lives, what we create, are made from the decisions we make on the moment-to-moment basis. Champions are never woken up and born into success. They're created, they're matured, they're struggled and weathered through that effort of hard work and dedication and sacrifice to achieve that championship status. It's these moments, these decisions we make on a daily basis. Do we get up early and go for a run? Do we hit the snooze button? Do we go that extra rep in the gym and our body's dying? Do we push past that? All these little things are the inches that add up to be the measure of difference between first place and forever forgotten second place. And if you're going to sit here and complain why you came up short without taking responsibility and looking at yourself internally first on all the opportunities you decide to pass on for comfort, then you're a shallow person, guys. If your day doesn't challenge you, don't ever expect to be changed by it. They go hand in hand, especially in the physical arena, guys.
With success in life comes more haters. Don't make them hurt your feelings. Use them for fuel. Use them for energy. In times of need, put them on the fucking mental Rolodex in your mind.
And when you don't want to do it, roll through your brain. Pull up that motherfucker that you need. That person who said you couldn't do something. Weren't fast enough, good enough, smart enough, where the fuck it may be. Use it for energy. Instead of killing them with kindness, torture them with success. In life, we have to continue pushing past the odds. Use everything this world has to give you for fuel.
Champions aren't found on the podium with their hand up. No, champions are found in lab studies, the thousands of hours of hard work when no one's watching. That's what makes the will unstoppable.
Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack. The hack is gonna fucking suck. And that's what I realized. For you to constantly win, when this voice over here, the real you, is saying, get the fuck out of here. Go. You're nobody. You've always been nobody. And it's true. People don't hear that. That's a true voice. That's the real reality of David Goggins at 24 years old. It's not a false reality. And then you had to create another voice over here that is saying you're better than that other voice. And you're in the freezing cold water that both voices don't want to be in. But you win. And it goes from the water to the studying, to the running, to the losing weight, to how you eat, to how you function as a man. Every day of your life, you're winning these battles.
They say the greatest achievement of somebody comes right after their worst defeat. When they've hit rock bottom, hit the bottom of the barrel, they got nothing left. Everyone's given up on them. They've lost all their worldly possessions. They're dead broke on their back. It's at that point, guys, when everything's lost, that everything can be gained.
I don't care what you're going through, what life's throwing at you. It's your responsibility to find your new 100%. Take it upon yourself to do that.
Because what we want in life is more than average, more than ordinary. We want extraordinary, so we must be willing to sacrifice that kind of work ethic and to ensure that kind of legacy. They go hand in hand. You can't half-ass it and expect anything greater than a half-ass later. It's very balanced. This is the fairest form, guys. What you put in is what you get out.
I'm out here in Colorado for a conference. I go to the gym and this trainer calls me over to talk to this group of people he's training. He says, hey man, what are you doing out here? So I tell him. He says, what kind of workouts are you doing? I said, well, one workout I'm doing is I'm climbing up this mountain, 3,000 feet, 3 miles. Because I do that every day. So the next day I'm out looking for him. Didn't see him. A couple days later, looking for him. Didn't see him. So here I am on the mountain again, climbing it. And there's a gondola that takes you up, takes you down. I'm going up it. I see a gondola. I'm about 5 minutes from the top. I look up at the gondola. I see him, face pressed up against the window, looking at me. Our eyes meet. It's called a look. When you take a motherfucker's soul, don't talk about it. Be about it. Practice what you preach.
If everything you do, you put your name to the best of who you are, you're not trying to win the title. You're trying to win the legacy. There's a big difference there. When you do it for a legacy, everything you do holds value. There are no shortcuts. You went to every fucking corner, made a left turn or a right turn, and then you went down the next path. Ensured everything in the opportunity was presented, that you got the most out of each situation you could. If you come up short, you know it's not from your lack of effort. You got beat honestly, and that's fine. But you'll never look back on that event and say, fuck. If only I did that. What if I did this? Too fucking late for that.
Motivation is crap. It's shit. People right now, maybe listen to this shit, they'll be motivated to go run. If it's cold somewhere where they're at, a lot of motherfuckers will shut that door, go back inside. That's motivation. It comes and go as how you feel. If you and your wife are good, if you and your kids are good, if you're good at work, you're motivated. I like a motherfucker whose life is imploded, ain't got shit in life, and says, I still gotta fucking get after it today, man. That's what it's about.
You have to gain this confidence because you lose yourself because you're always trying to hide from the stuttering, or you're trying to hide from, I wasn't that smart, so I hid there. I hid because I was only a black person. I hid because I wanted to be I was constantly hiding from these groups of people because I wanted to be accepted.
And the more I hid, the more David Goggins became nothing. I used to be embarrassed about lies I told, fucked up family issues, marriages I was in, things I fucking cheated on, things I quit. I was embarrassed about all that shit. So a lot of people had things on me, and they had power over me and could use this whenever they wanted to. And I didn't like how that felt. So I wanted to get to a spot in my life where I could put a fucking billboard up in the town I lived in with every fucking thing I did wrong, and let people drive by and see it. And I'm finally at that point. So when you get to that point, you kind of take that power back from people. But my question to you is this: are you at a point in your life where you can put a billboard up in your town and have folks drive by that? My brainstorming sessions is fucking out there in the fucking grip of life, fucking grinding. And that's where I think all my material comes from, to suck.
This person wanted to run with me. And I said, fine, we'll run 15. This morning comes, there's storms coming in this way. And the person calls and said, hey, why don't we do it tomorrow? Taking souls is when I told the motherfucker, I'm gonna run 15 today, and I'll run with you again tomorrow. That's what taking souls is about. Don't worry about the elements and what's going on. You gotta get out there and get it. And that's taking souls. And obviously, he wasn't the only one that thought about taking the day off, because the storm is coming in right now, and there's not a soul out here but me.
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk. Get off the podcast. Don't be on social media too much. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab, because that's where the knowledge came from. Get the fuck after it. Get after it. Get after it. You ain't good enough, motherfucker. Get after it. Get after it. I don't sleep sometimes, and sometimes I don't eat the right way, and sometimes I don't do this and do that and whatever, man. But you put me in a room with 10,000 people any time of the day, and I walk in there thinking I'm the baddest motherfucker in here, because I know what it took to be on this stage, and a lot of people will not do that.
In life, a lot of us believe that we're working much harder than we actually are. We think if we fucking got up early for 4 days, we've earned something. You gotta drop your entitled mindset. It's dead weight. We believe we work harder than we actually have. Trust me, most of us haven't. The one thing in life you gotta realize is this: learn to help yourself. Don't count on other people to help you. Stay hard.
I had to sit down. Each thing that is wrong with you has to be a focal point. You can't look at this gigantic list and say, I gotta change all this shit. My God, this is crazy. No. You take off the first one. I want to be smarter. For me, that was my thing. I have to become more intelligent. I have such a severe learning disability, man. I can't retain shit. I had to now get that one thing and then strategize in that one problem. How can I do this? I'm not going to learn like you. I'm not going to learn like anybody else. How am I going to figure this out? So I then figured out, okay, where are my strengths here? Where are my weaknesses in learning? All right, man, how am I going to do this? And I figured out a way to do it by just strategizing. So how I learn to this day, if I have a big manual to study, I will have to get a bunch of spiral notebooks from the daggone store. And each page, I have to write each page out, maybe 10 times. So there was a 1,000-page dive manual that I got 18 months before I went to dive school. Most people, I'm not smart, I'm gonna go see if I can pass this test. I realized, hang on a second, I'm not smart. How can I get past this? How can I get through this obstacle? I need to acquire this book 18 months in advance, because it could take me 18 months to write down each page over and over again to then put it to memory. So when the question came up, I had written that question so many times down on paper that I can recall, okay, page 71 was where I remember seeing this, and I can recall it that way. And that's how I did it. So you got to strategize on each problem you have in life. Slowly break down that problem. Don't think about all the problems you have, just one at a time. And before you know it, you fix all these problems, but you cannot focus on all of them. Just on the one thing at a time. Like, where do I want to be in life? Where do I see myself? And then I start making these plans on how I'm going to get there. and I don't deviate from that plan. So that's kind of how I do them now. A lot of us hope and we wish for things to happen. And I was the biggest person, doing that when I was growing up, man. I wish my situation was different. I hoped for this miracle to happen. And the more I realized it was never going to happen, I started realizing I had to form something, and I had to form belief. And this isn't like an after-school special belief. This is like, it's great for your mom and dad to say, believe in yourself. And after a while, you start to actually do that. But in those hard times, it doesn't work real well. So I started building belief by doing these extreme hard things. It's not just like running or swimming or whatever it may be. For me, starting off, it was just studying. It was just realizing, man, I battled depression real young, and I had these highs and lows. And I had to learn to manage these highs and lows. And that was so difficult to do. It's hard to perform when you have no purpose at all. It is so difficult when you're fat, when you're out of shape, when you're depressed, when you have a hard time learning and you've been abused and you have all these hard times. You fluctuate. On the happy times, you think about a million things you want to do. Oh, I want to get this and I want to get that. And then on those bad times, you just want to survive. So I started really chunking my life down and just focusing on one thing at a time so I could acquire that belief that I needed to attack all the things that I attacked.
We have to find our new norm. A new norm is something like this. When I was going through SEAL training, it's only supposed to be 6 months. I was there for 18 months, kept on getting setback and setback and setback. You gotta change your mindset to know my whole job now is at 4 o'clock in the morning. I get the shit kicked out of me for 18 months. You gotta create that new norm. That has to be your lifestyle. You are the master of your own mind. Create that masterpiece. Be proud of yourself at the very end of it all. Why the hell am I out here in Nashville, 90 degrees, running with 7 layers on, with a 45-pound pack? 2014, I had to drop out of bad water for health issues. Bad water is the great equalizer. That heat makes everybody slow. I'm not a fast runner. But one thing I do have is I train hard for the heat. So when the heat comes, I'm ready for it. One thing we do in life is we allow the better people who have more skills than us, faster than us, get in our heads. Wimbledon right now, Roger Federer. Before somebody gets on the tennis court with Roger, they're already 2 sets down mentally. We can't live our lives that way. We gotta get on the equal playing field. Find a way to get on the equal playing field with somebody. Get in the game.
It's important for you to do the job right the first time. When I was growing up, I had a tough grandfather, and he was all about perfection the first time. And being a young kid coming from trauma, I wanted people to feel sorry for me. So I didn't really give my best effort the first time. So he didn't feel sorry for me at all. So he made me stay there until the job was done the right way. And I learned later on, if you got it done the first time, there'd be no second or third time.
What you need was just straight up, brutal work ethic. In life, there's a lot of things we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be our best. We're supposed to get up early. We're supposed to work out. We're supposed to be uncomfortable.
I get up about 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and I work out until about 8. And that's right, to be at work. And I go to work from about 8 until about 6 o'clock, and then I bike back home. So I'm on the bike anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day. And if I'm running anywhere between 100 to 150 miles a week. So that's basically what I do. I also hit the weights about 3 or 4 times a week because it's important, but also weight training also.
Don't get twisted. It's not about flipping tires. I'm in Las Vegas right now and it's hot as shit. It's not about any of that. But what it is about is a lot of us give total control to life. We don't have any control of it. We just give all control to life. I do this shit every morning to prepare my mind for what life's gonna throw at me. A healthy body gives you a healthy mind. That's what it's about. So if you go into battle, you wanna go into battle with the right mindset, the right gear. In combat, you wear body armor. But what we do wrong is we don't strengthen our minds. You gotta strengthen your mind, take control of that. So then when you get out in the real world and they you up, you got protection. In your mind, when you push real hard, you have this door in your mind. And a lot of us don't want to open that door. Once you open that door, you're in a tunnel. It's a dark ass tunnel. And you can't see shit. But there's one thing about being in dark places. If you have the courage to stay in there long enough, your eyes will start to adjust to the darkness. Your body and mind will always adjust to more suffering, to more pain. If you want to push harder, know this. Your mind quits way before your body does. So you have to be willing to go way into that darkness and find more of yourself. I believe that most human beings are only living at about 40% of their capability. So the mind has a governor, like a car. If you're driving a car and the car has a governor on it, the car may say 130 miles an hour, but the governor is set for 91. Once that governor sets in, you get to 91, that car starts doing this. The car wants to go. The car wants to go, but that factory said, we're not going past 91. We have a factory, a nice governor in our brain, and it's a survival mechanism. It protects us from pain and suffering. The second we feel that shit, our mind says, oh no, this isn't fun. We should back off. We should sit down, find something more comfortable. And there's something about the mind. The mind has the tactical advantage over you at all times. At all times of your life, the mind has a tactical advantage over you. Why is that? It knows what you're afraid of. It knows your insecurities. It knows your deep, dark lies. And it starts to push you away from that shit. It pushes you in a direction that is comfortable. The mind controls everything. So what I realized was that when I was growing up and I was 300 pounds and I got all fat and I got all insecure, I realized that my mind kept taking me in this direction. When things got uncomfortable for me, when I was facing my insecurities, I was facing my fears, my mind said, oh no, we have the tactical advantage. We need to get you, separate you from this feeling over here. Life's all about feelings. We want the happy feeling. We don't want that feeling of this sucks. Why am I here? And you don't have any, so you can't answer those questions, so you leave. I started realizing that if in that moment you can answer those up questions and you are now in charge of your brain versus your brain ruling you, that's where all that stuff comes from. So the 40% rule is all of that. You get to 40%, your brain says, we're done. Let's roll, man. This is starting to get painful. This is uncomfortable. So you sit down. You have to figure out ways, and everybody's different. That's how the book kind of talks about, like we all have these things about, 5 steps to this and 4 steps to this. It's a lot more than that. That's all bullshit. It's a practice that you have to, it's a habit. So if you know that at 40%, I'm feeling pain. At 40%, I'm feeling pain. That's where the 40% rule kicks in. Now it starts. Okay, I'm feeling pain. My mind's saying all this shit to me. It's saying, get out of here, run, flee. The fight or flight kicks in. Okay, we're done. We're not good enough. It starts telling you all these things. You start to believe it because the mind controls all. This is the time where you have to gain control back of your mind. It's okay. Let me see if I can go 45%.